Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy Karen Johnson, the Earth Channel, here with you with a live channeled message today about what the solar eclipse can mean for you. So if the solar eclipse is going to be visible wherever you are, you probably already know. I personally haven't looked into it because I do not believe it is visible in my area. However, solar eclipses always happen at new moons. They always happen in pairs with lunar eclipses happening 2 weeks apart. Did I already say they always happen at new moons? And they usually happen approximately every 6 months. So basically, any solar eclipse is going to affect you wherever you are. It'll probably be strongest if it is visible from where you live, but it will still affect you even if you can't see it where you live. Of course, if you are going to view it, please use proper eye protection and so forth. Be responsible and protect your eyes. Don't do any damage there. But anyway, yes, as I said, they always happen on new moons. And so the energy with solar eclipses is basically like a new moon on steroids, a new beginning. And with new moons, as I spoke about in my series not too long ago about lunar cycles, they're the dark moon, as they were called not that long ago, maybe in the last 100 years or previous to that. Whereas they used to refer to the new moon as that point a couple of days afterwards or so, when you could begin to see the new light finally being reflected back from the moon to the earth and from the sun, of course. So when we talk about a new moon, we are talking about the time when, at least in today's world, it is not reflecting any light to the earth because it is between the earth and the sun. So the part that is reflecting the sun's light is facing back toward the sun. That's why we can't see it. So there is an alignment that happens there. And even though it's dark and we're not seeing that light, it does represent especially a new beginning in the etheric where we can't see it yet. And so that's why when you do begin to see the light again reflecting off of the moon, that's when it begins to emerge into the physical realm. The etheric could technically be considered the physical, but it takes a little more sensitivity to perceive it at that time. Similar to the point when a woman conceives. Technically conception, ovulation is more tied to the full moon, but the 2 weeks after conception, the baby is still infinitesimal, the fetus, the embryo, whatever you might refer to it as. And so while the mother may be able to sense something, she may also have no idea. She may be distracted and looking at other things. So I just wanted to offer a little bit of an explanation there about generally what kinds of energies are associated with new moons and with solar eclipses. So I believe that Mother Earth will share some things with us about this. So I will go ahead and channel a message from her. If you'd like to join me, I'll close my eyes and take a few deep breaths. Excuse me for one moment. I needed to remove the spam comment and hide that user. So that has been done now. So Now I will proceed with taking some deep breaths and closing my eyes, getting into the channeling state for Mother Earth, Gaia. Hello, this is Gaia. As Amy shared in the beginning of this video, the solar eclipse is at the point of a new moon in the lunar cycle, and yet only happens approximately every 6 months of the year. Whether it is visible from where you are or not. And so at the time of any new moon, there is an alignment of the moon and the sun relative to the earth. And at this time, in a few hours from when this video has been going live, the sun and the moon will be aligning in the fifth gate or hexagram as overlaid on the sidereal zodiac. The fifth gate in particular focuses on patience. And we would like to offer you perhaps a slightly different definition of patience from what you may be used to. Patience has to do essentially with being satisfied in the now. Even when you are hoping, wishing, waiting for something else to happen or something else to come, in each now moment, you can always focus on something that feels good. Sometimes the anticipation of that thing you might be waiting for might feel good. Other times it may not. Other times you may find yourself focusing on the absence of it in the now moment. In that case, we encourage you to focus on or feel into whatever it is that might feel better to you in that moment. We did just pass 2 weeks ago a full moon and lunar eclipse. And at that point, it was more about letting go of something. The ending of that cycle for the previous 6 months. So now with this new moon solar eclipse, excuse us, you will have the next 6 months over which to master feeling into satisfaction in each now moment. Whether that is being grateful for what you already have, being grateful that you know something is coming, or just finding something else to focus on. You may also want to feel into the feeling that you truly believe you will have when the new thing comes. Because it is possible that if you do not do that, if you do not focus on that feeling that you are waiting for, hoping for, wishing for, the feeling when it does come may be quite different. And so, as you reach for that new feeling, that desired feeling, you help to mold and create the thing as it comes. The result itself may end up being even slightly different, but you will have accomplished the feeling that you are looking for. Right now, Amy is in a climate, in an ecosystem, in a location on Earth that in the month of December is usually colder. It is an arid climate, so it is often dry, and yet it is exceptionally dry right now. Very little snow and no rain has fallen for quite some time. And while the warm weather can be nice, and Amy has appreciated it for that, she has also been feeling into the good feelings that she wishes to have if it did snow. Even making sure to water her plants, since Mother Nature is not currently doing that outside. And beginning to grow some plants indoors, making sure that they have ample water. Beginning to create her own world and expanding it. The main feeling that she desires right now is one of abundance. Abundance of water, or at least enough water. You may have heard the saying, enough is as good as a feast. You could also potentially say a balance is as good as a feast. Perhaps better than a feast. So that is truly what she would love to have, is a nice balance of moisture, humidity, precipitation in almost any form. She would prefer snow. She would also love rain in moderation. Sometimes when you go through periods where things are slightly scarcer than they usually are, You may notice that it requires more money. Perhaps water rates go up. And so we invite you to look at those types of factors as opportunities to value the resource in question even more than you already do. Value the water, as Amy does. Identify where it is needed most, use it there. Find ways where it can do the most good. A few weeks ago, we spoke about ecosystems and how plants actually help in a lot of ways to conserve water, just because they keep the moisture around for the plants to share even. And so by beginning to grow plants in her own home, she is humidifying the air for herself as well. This is how abundance works. When you stop worrying about not having enough, you find ways to share so that there's always enough of what truly matters. We thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste, beloveds. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the pause at the beginning there. It didn't take too long, but occasionally I do have people commenting with spam, so I like to get rid of those as soon as possible. I do appreciate you watching and offering any kind comments that you might have, any questions, and anything that you might like me to focus on in the next live video, which I will do again next week. So again, thank you. Namaste and happy holidays to all of you.